Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to meet with me so that I can tell you about our exciting handbook that is transforming schools throughout the nation.
Well, I have been a teacher and school administrator for more than 30 years. I don't think there is anything new that you can tell me that I don't already know.
Oh, but there is.
Let's get on with it then.
As you know, we are working in a changing society. The need and demand for technological integration, increased digital innovation and literacy, better and faster learning, managing diverse populations with diverse needs, and having less and less money to budget with.
I am still waiting for something new.
I understand. Our handbook is a resource guide that will equip you, your faculty, and your staff with the information that they need to transform your institution into a learning organization.
I thought that we were a learning organization, and I don't think I like what you are implying.
Please let me explain. When I say a learning organization, I am referring to your school's ability to adapt to and thrive in a changing society. Our handbook explores systems management techniques to improve the quality of learning for your students.
Is this another book by Peterson? Because a lot of these quality management theories do not apply to education. If the government moved faster, we would too, you know.
Actually, our handbook has been written by 4 of the top experts in education today, Drs. Klenzris, Scarborough, Valdez, and Zicafus. They are also known as Team 4. Have you heard of them?
Of course I have. I read all of the latest journals and education newspapers. Go on. I'm listening, Miss Sanchez.
Research tells us that our traditional organizational structures are rigid and slow to adapt. And this is profoundly true the more that government is involved. For example, as information increases, we try to keep up with it and integrate new knowledge within our systems. If we can't keep up, we fall behind and the system is threatened.
Miss Sanchez, we are a public institution. How could we possibly do something independent of that reality?
Well, Principal Smith, let's take funding for example. There are other ways to obtain funds besides waiting on the government to decide how much goes to who. By empowering people in the district and those who you hope to help, you can pull together a group that pursues grant seeking and grant writing.
There are a lot of people out there, true. But I don't have the time, and I don't have anyone that I can trust.
Many administrators feel that way. The good news is that this handbook will help you build a trustworthy team because you already know that you have a talented faculty and staff as well as committed parents.
That's very true.
Unfortunately.
Excuse me, Miss Sanchez. Jane, please hold my calls. Please go on.
Unfortunately, without a systems approach to integrating this knowledge, you, your faculty, and your staff will become more and more fragmented and isolated with your respective responsibilities. Adapting to change, closing learning gaps, and managing the threat of reduced funding are disconnecting us instead of bringing us together.
You don't know the half of it.
Me? No, but the authors of our handbook do, and they will show you how to increase employee motivation, institutionalize technology and technological supports, integrate professional development and ongoing learning, and, most importantly, help your students learn.
I don't know what I will do if they make the cuts that they are threatening the district with. Without incentives, how am I supposed to motivate my team?
I'm so glad that you asked. Our handbook explains that intrinsic motivation, explicit learning, and the broad-based use of technology at every level of the institution can enhance productivity. When employees and students are empowered to create and innovate, you won't need to depend on those external motivators. Besides, researchers tell us that they don't work anyway.
It all sounds very compelling, but does it work?
Each chapter has explanations and examples that describe how and why we find ourselves in organizations that are not working for us. There are also explicit teaching and management ideas and methods that will help to build inclusion and engagement so that everyone that comes into contact with your school gets involved in a meaningful way, contributing to the evolution of your organization and education in general.
Miss Sanchez, it sounds good, but I am a bit skeptical. There are a lot of crazy ideas that come out every year, and I have seen many more fail than stick around, if you know what I mean.
I do, and I really appreciate your feelings and position because that is one of the points that the handbook is trying to make, which is, In order to be forward-looking and people-oriented, we need to involve everyone. After all, organizations are really about people, not buildings, or budgets, or titles. The task for educators today is to integrate key stakeholders and their concerns to build model organizations for today. Relevant organizations that are also flexible so that they can readily adapt to the impacts of population change and technological growth.
How about leaving me a copy so that I can look it over?
Certainly. And let me add that when you purchase more than 50 handbooks, all of your staff and faculty will have access to our website, which includes free and low-cost professional development webinars that are credit and non-credit bearing, discounts for on- and off-site training, and access to our research journal, which is many free assessment tools that other districts have created and used successfully.
Wow. I like that.
Oh, and there is so much more. There are some terrific blogs for you, your faculty, and even your staff. Communication is the key to building and evolving a learning organization. Principal Smith, you will have the opportunity to connect with other like-minded, top administrators facing the same challenges that you are. You will be part of an entire network of schools across the nation that have become learning organizations and literally transformed their schools by providing more flexibility, decreasing boundaries, and eliminating roadblocks to learning.
Roadblocks to learning. Tell me more about that.
Sure. For example, some schools have replaced rewards with celebrations and consequences for student misbehavior with creative problem solving.
I like the sound of that.
Isn't it wonderful? Some schools have involved parents in assessment, change implementation, and development projects with great success. My visit to you today is not just about the handbook. We are inviting you to participate in an exciting change movement that cultivates and enhances learning for both students and everyone in the educational organization.
And we are all about learning.
I know that you're busy, and I really don't want to take up more of your time. I will leave you this copy of the manual with my card, and you can call me if you have any questions. I have included a temporary logon name and password so that you can peruse our website, too.
Excellent.
Thank you again. And I look forward to speaking to you more about making your school a model learning organization.
You can count on it.
I'm so glad.
Building a learning organization.
By Team 4.